So I was lucky enough to find some more Super Nintendo games this past week. Now this brings me down to only needing 181 games once I show you the ones that I just picked up. So that is insane, going down from 721 games needed for the full North American set and now having under 200 and just working my way closer to 150, then 100, so we will see what happens next. But this game right here, we have Kendo Rage. This game I didn't really know too much about, but I heard of the Japanese version of this particular one. So this one is an action platformer. It has this anime art style, which is really cool. There's 7 different levels, and this is a localized game that was slightly changed from the Japanese version. Now there is a sequel in Japan, but it's more of a fighting game, so I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out. But this one, you pretty much have this whole hack and slash like style to it, where you're just going around hack and slashing the enemies. You have this dash attack, and there's like limited numbers of continues, so you do have to keep that in mind. But this is one that I'll definitely have to look into a little bit more and maybe see what is different in the Japanese version, and definitely get that fighting game over in Japan, because that one seems like a really fun one. Then up next, we have Bonkers. So this is one that I really remember back in the day. So we have this like Disney Capcom game, and it was a cartoon first. So here you have your 2D platformer, and it definitely throws in some like little hidden aspects to it. So you have like the Little Mermaid, which is mentioned, Fantasia, Aladdin. You even go through something that looks like Donald Duck's house. So I definitely love the nods to all of these different Disney franchises. There are no passwords here, but there are passwords in other regions, so I thought that that was very interesting. You have this whole like dash meter in this game, but you have to be careful because you can use that up. But there are really good looking sprite animations in this game. The bombs do help in the game, and it looks like something that I'll definitely have to try out, especially if I want to see what else they kind of reference in this particular game. But this one was not that expensive, so some of these are some of the cheaper games, and some of them can be a little bit of fun. This game is one that I was really disappointed in. Here we have Speed Racer. So I absolutely love the cartoons back in the day. I just love Speed Racer. You know, you're driving that Mach 5. You would think that this would be like a super fun racing game, but you have a platformer, which also you have a driving game all in one. So instead of like focusing in on one thing to make it a little bit better, it's just really weird because it's not as smooth as I would have thought it would be. Now the cars can jump and you do have like a boost. The visuals are pretty good, but it's just crazy because you have like the story, then the race. I get it, they're trying to, you know, go through with like the TV show, but it is definitely a letdown. I feel like if they would have focused in on one or the other, maybe it could have been a little bit better, or just kind of had like the racing part to it, but just really tweaked it. Because it is the Super Nintendo, so you would think that this would run a lot better and just be more smooth. This game I found very interesting. We have Kid Klown in Crazy Chase. So this is a pretty inexpensive game, but I thought that this game was pretty interesting. So pretty much like a lot of other games, you have to rescue the princess, you have to dodge these obstacles like rolling logs, you have different balls that are like coming at you. You have to collect different balloons, which you often miss, and everything hurts in this game. It is very hard, but it's an interesting game where everything kind of just is out to get you. Everything pops out against you. You just have so much going on with the different puddles that can hurt you, and it's just really interesting to see. Now, this is a good-looking game, and it does sound good, so maybe this is one that I might get into a little bit more. I just love these like challenging, kind of like puzzle style, where you're just like trying to get away from everything, and it looks like a really challenging yet addicting game. So I'm pretty excited to try this one out. So I want to know, did you guys play this one back in the day? Now this one is very disappointing. So this is Super James Pond. So on the cover here, it looks like you have like this James Bond character where you're holding a weapon, you just have like all this stuff in the background. But that is not how this game is at all. So this is very repetitive with the designs. It's not that great of a design really, and it's definitely not James Bond. There are no guns, there are no weapons. This is more of like a cutesy character where you just have to like jump on the enemies and work your way through these different levels. But this like artwork is just so misleading. The name is misleading as well. So I would definitely be pretty upset if I got this back then thinking I was going to play like some, you know, crazy James Bond game. So this is definitely a disappointment right here. Then on to American Gladiators. So this is one that I remember back in the day. I used to watch these like crazy things that they used to do, you know, competitions, going up against one another, and just like, you know, knocking each other off and just moving through these different courses. So you have 7 different events in this game, but it's just not as fun because it doesn't really explain well what you have to do. The controls are pretty difficult. Even aiming is hard in this game. And it's just one that you kind of have to like stumble through, and it's just really not that fun. They do have a couple different versions of it on some different systems, so I'm not sure if any of them are better than this one. But this is one that maybe, you know, more nostalgic for me, or just watching the shows growing up, but not really, you know, playing this particular game. I just don't see what the fun is in this one. So this week was very interesting as I'm going through trying to complete this North American set, trying to get all 721 games, and here we have another 6 added into the collection. Some of these are a little fun, some of them aren't so much, and most of these were pretty cheap, or I did get some sort of deal when I ordered these. So it is very fun just trying to complete this set, and it's getting a little bit more hard to find them out and about, so we'll have to see what comes in the future. But this is really cool because we left off with 534 games, we're adding 6 more, so now we have 540 games. So that is fantastic. Only having 181 games left, and I can't wait to get closer to that 150 mark, then under 100, you know, the road to 100. Cannot wait for that. So out of this here, did you play any of these games growing up? Which one would you say was the best? And were you also misled by any of these? Let me know in the comments down below, and of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out all of my other videos and stay tuned for more.